My new book, Pillars for Life, A Guide to Spiritual Ethics and Practice, is now out and available for you to read and purchase. You can check out our website, willowhealing.org, to find a link, or you can find it on Amazon. We look forward to getting your feedback, and if you love it, please leave a review and share with your friends. Now it's time for the show. Welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey where we explore different ways to empower your soul, whether it's healing in your kitchen or all the way up in the corporate world. Come with us as we look into different ways to heal your mind, body, and soul. Hey everyone, it's Catherine Crestani with another episode of Willow Healing Matters, and Tamar Gail and I are excited to be here today because if you knew of all the technical glitches we've been through, you'd understand why this is going to be a powerful conversation. So Tamar is a modern day mystic, oracle, and keeper of the feminine mysteries. As the founder of the Feminine Code, she guides women through sacred portals of remembrance, awakening ancient wisdom embodied in the womb, voice, and body. Rooted in mystical lineages and the living temple of the earth, Tamar creates transformational spaces where the unseen becomes felt and the sacred becomes embodied. Her work is a devotional path of returning women to their truth, beauty, and divine feminine essence. This is more than transformation, it is a reclamation of the deepest, most sacred parts of yourself. Tamar has worked in the healing arts since 1999 and since 2015 has focused on women. Her mission has been to help them remember who they are beneath the layers of burnout, striving, and special societal roles. She guides them to awaken their sensual wisdom, heal generational patterns, and reclaim their leadership through their body, not by force, but by feminine presence and devotion. She has been teaching and internationally leading workshops and retreats since 2015, insisting empowering women through her work. She has a background in bodywork, sacred feminine yoga, theta healing, shamanic womancraft, and is trained doula and a teacher of women's natural healing arts. So big welcome to the show, Tamar.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy that we were able to get on today and to do this. And obviously, this is going to be powerful because of we have the eclipse, we have the full moon, the blood moon. We're speaking about the feminine. So I'm super excited about like why we keep trying to be stopped on having this conversation.
I
That's
know.
so
Well,
fascinating.
yes, yes. So to give the listeners some context, because I feel we need to talk about it because it was insane.
Mm.
So first of all,
Hmm.
we connected on Riverside where I normally record, and then it wouldn't. I saw Tamar come in, and she could hear me, but I couldn't see her. And then it kind of threw me out, and then I came back, and then I was like, "Oh, let's just do it on Zoom." And then it wouldn't let me email her the Zoom link, and nothing would actually let us connect. And whenever that happens, it's normally because there's some higher level of energy that's about to happen, and it's almost like the computer cannot cope with it. So I wouldn't be surprised because then one went to read her bio and all my things had been shut in the background as well. So these are the extremes that happen, especially I feel when you're stepping into the feminine, because I don't know about you, but I feel like computers have a more masculine energy about them.
More, yes. It's more the mental, the high, like it's not rooted in the body or the earth. It's just it's a different frequency, totally.
100%. And the higher the conversation, the less likely it is to cope. I've been thrown out so many times. It's funny.
I love it. I just love it. I was laughing the whole time. I'm just like, okay,
We did, and we're
we
here.
did.
And I want to ask, first of all, what are the feminine codes? That's the first question that popped into my head as soon as I was reading your bio.
Yeah, so the feminine codes, it's so funny because I've been working with the feminine for a very long time, and I was in Exuma's working for a private client. All of a sudden, I just started getting these downloads. I was just sitting there, like, kind of waiting, and I started at what I thought was a post, and it ended up being the start to a book. And it was all about the feminine codes, and it kind of brought all of my work together and made me like really just understand on a deeper level like what I was here to do. And the feminine codes, they are codes that are held within our body as women, and they are connected to the most ancient part of us as women, the most ancient aspect of the Great Mother, and what we're here for as women. And we're really being asked to step into that right now, to remember the sacredness of who we are, to remember those ancient codes, to bring those back online, to remember what it is to be a woman, and to really step into that place so that we can begin to shift humanity right now. I really feel like that's the call. And it's funny because I had no idea. I'm not really online that much. Like I don't look at a lot of other people's work. Like I just kind of, I'm in my own lane. I do my own thing. And after I started writing all of this, and I had my best friend helping me change some things on my website to align with the feminine codes to kind of make this a brand. And she was like, "Do you know that there's other people talking about the feminine codes?" And I'm like, "What? Are you serious?" I was like, "No." I was like, "But that makes sense. I mean, we're all here doing, like, those of us who are called to do this work, we're in alignment, and it's kind of like, we're spreading out around the world, and we're being called to do the similar things that may be different threads of it, but all
Mm.
very much in alignment." And so I think it's really beautiful, actually.
Yeah, and I feel you bring up such an important point because so often we go into that comparison mindset, right? And we're like, oh no, but that person's doing that too, and that person's doing that too. But it always comes back to, like you said, the individual threads that you bring to it because you have your own unique practices, you have your own unique story, and you have your own unique energy that you apply to whatever information it is. And I feel it's because this is my theory. I feel it's because when it's ready and when, this information has to get out, multiple people do need to get it because it needs to be exposed as quickly as it can. But also, you're one person and there are a billion souls on this earth. You can't serve everybody.
And my energy is different than someone else's. My lessons have been different than someone else's. And so the codes that maybe I bring, and they're going to be different than someone else's codes that they've, learned and have had to integrate in this lifetime. And we come with specific codes that are online. Other ones we have to go through to activate those codes. And so someone else is going to be completely different than mine.
100%. And it's so important that you remember that individuality all the time, right? Like this is the thing. We are meant to be connected with each other because we all have something unique and it's together that we can weave stronger codes and, activate different reflections in each other as well.
It is. And that's important. There's such a big calling for us women right now to really step up. And as you said, one person can't do all of it. Like I cannot reach the whole world. And as much as I would love to, like really get out there, I can't reach everyone. And so we need multiple, and it's not just with the feminine codes. I see this with, I'm very much in the Rose lineage as well, and the Magdalene. And the same thing, because I'm not like looking at other people's stuff. I'm like, yes, and I put this stuff out there, and it's like, oh, and this person, and it stops popping up. And I'm like, this is fascinating because there's such a deep call for remembrance of the Rose lineage of in Magdalene was really connected with the Great Mother as well, the earth and the fae, the fairies, and she was really connected to something more ancient, and that's kind of the codes that she was bringing in as well. So it makes sense why all of this is coming back so strongly right now, and why so many women are feeling the call, feeling the pull to learn more, to dive deeper into it. I'm leading a retreat at the end of April 26th next year to the south of France, all about Magdalene and the Cathars and really like the ancient mother and really like connecting with the land. And I started seeing, like different things pop up, and it's just like, wow, wow, we're really being called to this as the feminine.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess, it's such an important contrast too, because I've talked about it this way, I guess, but women have a womb energy and men don't have this and they don't understand and they can't understand because that is what makes us unique and why we carry that feminine so strongly within us. And it's, there's so much this, whether you have children or not, it's not about that at all. It's about honoring that creative space and where that womb can carry you.
Totally, totally. We are, and this is something that I speak about a lot. We are vessels, like true, like vessels of the divine. There's nothing else that can bring a child, on earth except through a woman's womb, our body. And as you said, it's not just about a baby. Like we have this creative portal that we can easily just channel and move things out into the world. And we are that. We're so powerful. We are so needed. We're so sacred as women. And I think there's many, many women who have forgotten that. I know I did when I was younger. Like I forgot that during my teenage years, especially, like it was, and it took me a while to remember who I was and the power that I had as a woman, like the power that we hold, and the sacredness of our bodies.
Yeah, and especially, when you're a teenager, you're cursing your period because it always comes at the wrong moment.
Oh my
So
gosh, I
that
have stories.
rather than, and then we get older and we're like, woohoo, I'm not pregnant. But then when you actually start to celebrate it for what it means and that deeper level, and I feel that that's almost, this ancient connection we all have too. Like we bleed for a reason, and it's to set, like, to honor the fact that we can have children and that we do have this reset every month and can come back into our sacredness.
And that we can follow the cycles and actually that's such a big part of self-care is to learn how to flow with our cycle as women and to really nurture that part of ourselves so that we can create on a larger scale on the other part. And maybe that's with family, maybe that's community, maybe that's in your house, maybe it's for your job. It doesn't really matter. There's so many creative aspects of being a woman. But when we learn how to flow with our cycle, everything changes because we don't have that burnout. And I think that's such a big thing, especially now in our day and age, is like we want to be men. We want to work like men. We want to like be boss babes, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that we can't be the empress and the queen and do those things, but we have to learn how to honor our cycles so that we can do that from a more fulfilled, magnetic place as a woman.
Yeah, 100%, because my husband was talking about this the other day because there's so much stuff in the media at the moment about comparing like women and men and everything like that, and there was this court hearing going on, and they're saying like these people that were trying to say, and it's almost, I don't know, I personally feel like it's almost discounting what women do because it's
Mm.
almost like you're comparing it. But what they were doing, they were comparing two different jobs completely. So they were comparing a pilot versus an air steward, and they were saying that why aren't they paid equally? And I'm like, because one's a pilot. And even the person like in this hearing, they're like, we don't understand what's going on here. Like, this doesn't make any sense. And there's all this misconstruedness around that. And I almost feel like it's created that way on purpose to take away from it's okay to be a mum and it's okay to be putting your career second to you honoring your cycles. It's okay to, put yourself first and then allow everything else that flows from that. And it's almost like you're meant to be angry as a woman about it. It's like, but I'm not angry because it's
Yeah.
actually, I'm honoring myself.
I love my period. I mean, and it came to that like place in my life where once I understood it and understood the cycles, I really, really loved being a woman and having my period. And really being able to take that rest and like, no, but I have to rest. It's like and honoring that place in my body and like next week I can do that. Now, I'm hitting perimenopause, and I'm like, no, I don't want to give up my cycle. I'm not ready. But
See,
that's also another phase in our cycle as women, and it's a difference. It's the next step, and I'm excited about that as well. It's just like now that I love being a woman, and I love having my cycles and taking that time. Like now you've got to switch gears, and it's learning the next phase of the what I call the Empress
yeah, which
really
is
stepping into your power and owning who you are, like which is super powerful as a woman.
Yeah. Yeah, and exactly. And it makes me think of, the in paganism, they had the moons. I always think of that when we think about our cycles through life, moving into the crone. I want to say, I think I've got that right. Moving into that last stage where it's actually you're the wise woman because you've been through all this and you've experienced this life. And the question that I keep getting echoing in my head right now is, when you work with these beautiful women on different levels, and you start to reactivate the feminine codes, do you find that they start to connect so much with the ancestral lineage of
Mhm.
Isis and Magdalene and everybody else?
Every time. Every time. And it's actually in one of my trainings, I have them specifically intentionally connect with their lineage.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Do you find there's a particular lineage that keeps coming up for you, or it just really changes because you're just open vessel
Uh, for me in particular, or for my
for
students?
your students?
For my students, Egypt comes up a lot. And I think that's probably because I've worked with ISIS for so long that those types of women are drawn to me. So Egypt does come up a lot. In my last round, I also had someone that was connected with Greece. And I'm trying to think I think the rest of them were more Egypt, to be honest. I think they pretty much the rest of them were.
It's so interesting because I started working with Horus first before I started working
Oh.
with, yeah, before I started working with, because I was very sensitive to energies and things like that, especially when I went through my spiritual reawakening and I had to go into the city because I was going to see a show with my friend because I love watching musicals. And I'm calling my spiritual mentor and I'm like, how am I going to sit in a theater in the middle of the city in Sydney and, take all, she's like, I'm sending you something. So she sent me this horror seal and it was so powerful. And my husband was freaking out. He goes, I'm really worried something's going to happen to you. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, you don't feel the same. And I said, it's because I've got the seals on. I said, you can't feel my energy, like, because I could still connect up here, but it was like sealing everything around me. Anyway, so this day I was in the city and my friend was late. She missed the exit, ended up on the other side of the city. And I was like, it's okay, I'll just walk around. And I walked past this jewelry shop and I was looking at this jewelry and I thought, wow, there's really stunning energy in that. And I kept walking along and then this man, he comes up to me and I had these Tree of Life earrings on and he just comes up to me, I have no idea who this person is, and he holds my earring and he goes, "Oh my gosh, this is stunning." He's like, "What crystal is it?" And I'm like, "Oh, I couldn't even remember what it was. Maybe sodalite or something." And he's like, "Oh, this is amazing." He goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm a jeweler. Would you like to come and see my shop?" And I was like, "Sure, I've got time." And it was the shop I was looking at. So then I step in there and he puts this necklace around my neck and it was like in Egyptian style because he said I'm influenced by Egyptian and ancient. Yeah, right. And he puts this thing on and shows me in the mirror. Boom, I'm back in Egypt. I was like, wow, like this is like, and I am like, he goes, "Oh, it looks really beautiful on you." I said, "I know, it's just not my style. I would honestly never wear it. But, at the same time, thank you so much." And then I kind of just had all these downloads after that. And that just kind of made me curious about Egypt and where that came from. So it was really interesting how like it pops up in our life when we're ready. But my husband's like, "Oh, he probably saw you looking at it." I was like, "No, he was at the bathroom at the other
The
end of
more
this, the
logical
logical thing." And I was like, and it was funny because then I met up with my friend and we were having high tea and I was just like, "You'll never believe what just happened." And I was telling her about the earrings and then the server came up and she goes, "I really like your earrings." She's like, "Take the earrings off now." But it was just really interesting how, it can be such a small thing. Like that necklace just triggered so much memory in me of like being in that time because of the style, well, everything about that whole thing. Plus, I'm wearing the Seal of Horus at the time. So it was just like all these kind of steps.
Well, and you hadn't worked with Egypt until then.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then when I was reading the Sophia Code, by KRR, I was like, "Oh yeah, Isis. Oh, hello." Like because I'm very visual. So like they're just walking in my room as I'm doing the activations. And then I got to Mary Magdalene and I'm like, "I know you." And she goes, "Yeah, I know
Yeah.
you do." I said, "No, I know you." And then, it turned out we actually trained together in like the past
Mm.
life and things. So it was like this really beautiful of how beautiful synergy of how it came together and I thought it was really interesting because I was like, why do I feel this pull to Isis? And then I realized she was like a guide on one of my councils and that sort of thing. So I was like, oh, but yeah, it's all this stuff that slowly comes together, right?
Yeah, it does. It does. It takes like I'm trying as you're speaking, I'm trying to remember when I first started working with Egypt, and I actually don't remember. I think it was 2013. I did a shamanic journey, um, and it took me back into a past life
Mm.
to Egypt, and I'm pretty sure that that's when I first started working with Egypt. And once I started working, I mean, it was everything opened up for me. And I will share because I did a lot of journeys back then. I know it was like a dream. You know how you're in that state? It's almost like a theta state where you're asleep, but you're like right before you wake up and you're in theta. And so I would always receive all my downloads like at that point. And one of them, I remember I was in a stone building or maybe it was underground. I can't even say, but it was almost like a womb. Like it was like enclosed like a cave, like a womb. And there was like a little pool where you would bathe. I was in a ritual. What is and I can never remember her name, but she's I think she's the hippopotamus goddess.
I don't
You
know.
don't know her. Okay. She's not very as much known, and I didn't know who she was before this initiation that I went through at this in this vision. But I was standing there and she was bathing me in this water and cleansing me. And Anubis was standing guard right next to us. And I love Anubis. I can't tell you what this like love I have for him. I cannot tell you what it is because I don't completely understand it. But
She
ah,
face your shadows.
and as a Scorpio, I love facing shadows. That maybe that's it.
Sorry, so you were getting all bathed and washed by
I
the
was, and it was like, yes, it was just, and I woke up shortly after that, but it was in preparation for like this renewal, this rebirth. And it was fascinating. So I have so many things like that, even time jumping, like jumping timelines into Egypt, and that's been happening since probably 2018 that I jump back and forth. I'm there in this old like or other lifetime and then I jump back in this one. It's really, really fascinating. And it's because I'm picking up something from that lifetime that I need
Mm.
in this right now. There's a gift. Whenever we do that, there's a gift there for us. And so it's just kind of figuring out what that gift is and why we're going there.
Yeah, I fully resonate with that because I knew there was something I was missing. And then
Mm.
I went to a breathwork session and I saw like pyramids and I'm like, oh, I'm going into a past life regression. I was so excited. I was like, yes. And then I was in this pyramid and Mary Magdalene was there and everything. And then one of the guides or one of the teachers just walked up to me and hit my third eye and went, here's what you were looking for. It was that violent. It was like, here's what you're looking
Mac-
up, wake up. And then I was like, oh, and all of a sudden I could work with DNA in the quantum realm. And I was like,
Wow.
wow. Like, and it was so funny because I was having this interview and he goes, so tell me what you see. And I said, I actually see the strands come up and then it kind of lights up what I need to work on. And if it's in alignment, it's like a Christmas tree, like it's all kind of dinging and moving beautifully. But if not, then I have to do all this work. And then he goes, so, and then we were having this scientific conversation. I have never studied the DNA. I just want to emphasize that. And I just knew exactly what he was talking about. And it turned out that he owned a company that worked with DNA and things like that. That was his side hustle when he wasn't doing the interview, or maybe the interviewing was the side hustle. But it was so interesting having this conversation because he's like, this is exactly what we see when we're looking at it. And I was like, well, I said, there you go, it's there. So there's this reawakening of ancient technologies and ancient wisdom, right? That it's happening. You just have to be open to it and be willing to go look for it.
Yes, that's exactly it. I think this is the time where we are being asked to remember. Like it's being shown to us. Like it's just things are coming back online like this. And the technology that's coming out today, I mean, insane. Whenever you look back, and look into the ancient technologies, like from what we can recall, remember, some of the things that are out today are 100%. We look at it like it's way out there, but it's not new.
No,
It's not.
and it's really not. And it's that deep remembering, isn't it? It's like remembering your sacred gifts and remembering who you are as a woman and that you are attached to this lineage. And it doesn't matter if you have been a man in another life. It doesn't matter. None of that matters because right now you've chosen to embody yourself as a woman, and you have to activate that ancient lineage within that.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I understand why we were cut off from this conversation. So, Tamara, ask the guests that come on the show if you could heal or change something in the world, what would it be?
Separation between man and woman. In that I mean I feel like the separation that has created this wounding between man and woman, the masculine, the feminine, divine masculine, divine feminine, is one of the greatest tragedies of our time. And not just our time, like back like since
Yeah.
thousands of years. But I feel like that separation, that wounding that has hurt both is creating more wounding now. So I would heal that separation because I think that has to do with the children, how the children are feeling, how like we're seeing, things that we're seeing right now. It all started from the division. It all started from this deeper wounding.
Yeah, 100%. And, so often I feel like if we actually truly saw each other as equals and understood that we're here with different parts to honor, and different reasons for being here, it'd be such a different energy, right? Such a different place.
It would be. I mean, we're not made the same.
No,
We're
we're
not
not meant to.
intended to be the same. Right, right. We have different energy, different nervous systems, different hormones, different makeup. We are so completely, we complement each other. And that's what we're here to do. And it really hurts me whenever I see like men and women say there's not any good men or good women out there. Like they're all this or they're all that. And I'm just like, no, it's not. I mean,
Mm,
hurt people. Yes. But not everyone is like that. There are so many beautiful people looking for what you have and that are open hearted. If we could just kind of come back to remembering who we are, of opening our hearts again, of remembering love and having discernment, obviously. But yeah, there's really a shift that could happen if we could just honor each other for who we are.
100%. I,
The
I
masculine.
wholeheartedly agree.
I love the masculine. I love the divine masculine, like, and there are a lot of men who are ready and are stepping into this king energy, this divine masculine energy. Some that haven't seen it yet, but there are others who really are. And I think that needs to be honored just as much as the feminine, like us remembering our beauty and our sacredness.
Yeah, exactly. So beautifully put, Tamar. Thank you. And if people want to come and find you or work with you, where can they go?
Yes, so thefemininecodes.com. I'm on Instagram as The Feminine Codes. It's where else? YouTube, The Feminine Codes. I think it's The Feminine Codes 1111, but it's all The Feminine Codes. And you can find me. I've got my podcast, The Feminine Codes, YouTube channel that I'm trying to, add more to, my website. Everything is The Feminine Codes. And if someone's interested, I also have an app that I created for women. It's called Feminine Codes.
I was going to say the
And
feminine
so
codes. You're
and
consistent.
consistency and not hard to find. And that's all like a temple space for women, for any women who are burned out and wanting to come back into their bodies, for women who are desiring like a temple space and just really divine feminine teachings, working with your cycles, shadow work, all of it. It's activations and transmissions. It's really all of my work from all the years I've kind of put into one place so women can access that and do it on their own whenever they have time.
Amazing. And I'll make sure to pop that in the show notes as well. So thank you, Tamar, for being on. Thank you for persevering through me through tech difficulties. And I'm so glad we got to have this conversation about sacred gifts and feminine codes.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you, everyone. So, have a good day.
Thank you for listening to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We have so much love and gratitude that you have taken the time out of your day to empower you on your healing journey. The views shared by the person being interviewed might not necessarily reflect that of the host and should be used at your own discernment. Trust what resonates for you and follow your heart and soul guidance. If you have any underlying medical conditions or mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider before pursuing any of the recommendations. Likewise, you can always contact the person being interviewed to find out more information. This can be found in the show notes. Remember to activate, align, heal, empower, and find love in everything that you do.